B-Mix Wood Cone 10 clay body right now. So I'm going to open this up to about a 2.5 inch opening on the inside. I'll probably have about a 3 inch foot dimension from the outside. And I'm just taking a little time right now to do a compression on the floor. Usually with 2.5 pound pieces, I don't put a lot of clay in the bottom. I'm just going to have enough for the cutting wire and it to be finished. Because I will just clean this up with a rib. I won't even put it back on the wheel. I'll do it in my hand when I'm done with this piece. Okay, so I'm going to just put a tiny little bit of moisture on the outside. If you're throwing finished, it's important that you don't use a whole lot of water. And I'm just bringing that clay up in my first pull with a lot of compression and coning inward just a little bit. I'm putting just a tiny bit of moisture on there, and now I'm pushing against the back. You see I'm braced against my leg. I'm going up under, and now I've grabbed hold of that clay and I'm bringing it upward. There's a lot of people that say you should be able to make a pot in 3 pulls. You know what? You can make that a goal if you want to. I think the goal is to make an excellent pot. Okay, so I've got my second pull. I'm going to set up this pull again. Oops, a little bit of clay came off. And up I go. My wheel speed's pretty quick right now, so my rate of pull is pretty quick. But I'm making sure that I'm pulling a pretty even wall. Right up about here, I'm going to lighten up my pull because, and really not even pull, just kind of move smoothly over it, because this is the clay that is going to be choked into the bottleneck, and I need it to stay a little thicker. So I'm going to go ahead and choke it in. Even though I can't get my hand down in there, it compresses those clay particles and makes it stronger. And every time I choke, it'll be more inclined to remember it and go back. So one more nice pull down here, and I'm actually going to start bringing this clay outward a little bit, but I'm still thinning the wall in the pull as well. I'm rounding the corner right there and up, and somewhere right about here, I'm saving all that clay for the bottleneck. And I'm going to bring it back in. Give nice compression. Push down. And then I'm going to put my hand in there again and continue making the shape. So you see I have to open it back up. And down here I've got my finished bottom at this point. It's about 3 inches. And I'm moving the clay outward. And somewhere right about here, I'm going to make a transition on this form. And I'm going to turn and go straight up. I've been doing this bottle form for a little while, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm going to go all the way up to about right here and stop. So I'm going to have some really nice planes on this form. Oops. Do you see how my hand caught on there? I'll just put a little moisture there and it'll keep that from bumping around like that. All right. So now I've got a nice little transition right here. Strong transition there. I think I'm going to go ahead, before I do too much choking up at the top, I'm going to go ahead and pick up whatever little bit of water I have in the bottom right now. If you leave that water standing in the bottom of your pot, it's going to make the base of your pot so wet that when this dries down to there, it's going to probably put an S crack in there. So go ahead and take a minute. You're in no rush. And I'm going to undercut right here and create a nice visual for this bottom plane. So this is about 3 inches across right there. Now I'm doing my little wax line that not only helps me wax the pot easily, but it also gives the pot a little lift visually by having a shadow under it. I always like to do that. Okay, I'm just cleaning up so that when it's time to cut this pot off the bat and turn it over and clean up the bottom, I don't have to do anything but just clean it up with a nice little soft rubber rib by Mud Tools that gets rid of any scratchies and sign it. Okay, so I should be pretty close to finish down here. Now I've got all this clay up here that I can make my neck with. And I'm going to just gently choke that clay inward. And you don't want to yank this around because all the rest of your pot is finished. So I'm going to grab hold and just gently, feeling full revolutions, bring that clay inward. Now I'm going to find my transition right here, and I'm going to barely even pulling, kind of create a firm, compressed wall that's coming inward. Here's my rib. There it is. And so that things will stay where you put them, sometimes you want to come behind with the metal rib and just give it a little compression to hold there. So now I'm going to compress this in. Well, it feels a little thick right here. So I'm actually going to bring this clay, this thickness, up just a little bit. So I've set up a pull right there, and I'm bringing it up with a little inward motion. We've got a little bit of a Watusi down there. There we go. A little return. Now I'm going to bring this inward. I'm compressing down and in, down and in. And you can see I'm defining a pretty strong shoulder across here. You see that? And I'm starting to get my bottleneck up here at the top. And right here, I'm going to bring this clay upward and get it a little thinner. And then I'm going to turn it in again. And I'm going to take this clay down and inward, down and inward, down and inward, down and inward. Feeling pretty good about it. Come off of there. Reinforce the base. Reinforce this transition right here. Reinforce right there. It's all looking pretty good. If you're concerned when you're throwing finish that this is going to give up on you, just take your little propane torch and give it just a little touch of heat. You can also use a heat gun, and it will just strengthen it right there to hold up while you're doing the rest of your piece. All right. Now, I'm going to choke this clay inward just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to take this clay right here and start pushing inward up under the bottleneck. Do you see that transition I'm creating right there? Really nice transition. And then right here, I'm going to bring this clay upward. If you have any unevenness there, you can go ahead and cut it off. Sometimes that happens with all that choking, but the key to not getting unevenness is when you choke to complete your revolutions before you move upward. That's the key. So you can see now, this is a pretty contemporary form. I'm going to bring that down just a little bit and that out just a little bit. And then I think I want this bottleneck to taper inward just a little bit. So now I'm going to go in with this pull like that. So it's kind of mirroring these planes. I've got a little unevenness right here. I want the light on the top of the rim to shine. Ooh, I didn't like that cutoff at all. Let me compress a little bit right there. So I'm going to just make a little valley with my 2 fingers and compress the clay down into it. And clean that up. If you haven't done that, you'll want to try it. I just created a little space between my 2 fingers, held it firm, and pushed the clay into those 2 spaces to thicken it up just a touch. There it is. There it is. And you can see that this bottle has some nice contemporary planes on it. I think I'm probably going to do a little slip trail on this surface that I have right here because it's just calling for something exciting to happen there. But I'm also going to put a little bit of an edged swirl in it just to make it fun. So I'm going to take the corner of this rib and I'm going to go around, and then right when I'm ready, I'm going to bring it down with a slow moving wheel and a quick moving rib. So my wheel's real slow and down I'm going. Up, and if you don't like it, move it out and try again. And down I'm going. I want to put a little indentation into it. There, that's nicer. So what we have here is a 2.5 pound bottle, thrown finished, ready to just set over and dry overnight. I'll go ahead and cut it off now. And then tomorrow morning, all I'll do is clean up the base. Now I want you to see that up close. Nice.